Ladies and gentlemen, I am SidAlpha. Last week I had posted a video discussing the recently announced changes to Patreon's systems and fees that were slated to be implemented later this month, and owing to Creator and Patron backlash, it would seem that Patreon is backpedaling on this decision and will not be implementing the announced changes. In an announcement released a short while ago, Jack Conte, founder of Patreon, had the following to say: "Creators and patrons, we've heard you loud and clear. We're not going to roll out the changes to our payment systems that we announced last week. We still have to fix the problems that those changes addressed, but we're going to fix them in a different way, and we're going to work with you to come up with the specifics as we should have done the first time around. Many of you lost patrons, and you lost income. No apology will make up for that, but nevertheless, I'm sorry. It is our core belief that you should own the relationships with your fans. These are your businesses, and they are your fans. I've spent hours and hours on the phone with creators, and so has the Patreon team. Your feedback has been crystal clear. The new payment system disproportionately impacted $1 to $2 patrons. We have to build a better system for them. Aggregation is highly valued, and we underestimated that. Fundamentally, creators should own the business decisions with their fans, not Patreon. We overstepped our bounds and injected ourselves into that relationship against our core belief as a business. We recognize that we need to do better at involving you more deeply and earlier in these kinds of decisions and product changes. Additionally, we need to give you a more flexible product and platform that allows you to own the way you run your memberships. I know it will take a long time for us to earn back your trust, but we are utterly devoted to your success and to getting you sustainable, reliable income for being a creator. We will work harder than ever to build you tools, functionality, and income, and our team won't rest until Patreon is making that happen." And with that, it would seem that at least some small measure of victory has been earned. However, in this, I'm still gathering the impression that Jack Conte and Patreon are simply not comprehending the major issue that the majority of us had with this proposed changes to begin with. For those of you that are not aware, the reason for the originally proposed changes were born out of the different subscription models and people supporting different creators using those different models. Those models were at a pay per creation, pay per month, and pay per month with initial charge, the last meaning that you're charged the fee right away and then again the following month. The vagaries between these different methods caused different payout and charge times for these different Patreon models. In an effort to deal with this, Patreon took an approach that did not seem to take into account scale, nor did they account for those who choose or are able to donate $1 or $2 to each creator they support. And this was due to the specific fees involved, which were 35 cents for each donation regardless of size, plus 2.9% on top of their initial pledge amount. This would mean that $1 patrons would be required to pay $1.38 for each $1 donation, and $2 patrons would be required to pay $2.41. And while this did allow for a set percentage to go to the creators, this would cause a significant increase to those that make up the vast majority of individuals that support channels like mine on Patreon. As a result of that change, people began scaling back the number of creators they were supporting in droves or abandoned the platform altogether. I know I had a few people donate $12 to my PayPal in order to cover a year's worth of what they would have paid on Patreon instead, and this toll taken on our supporters was the largest point of concern for a great many of us. The reason for that is we do want our fans and our viewers to both feel involved and to be involved, and many of us are actively seeking out ways to make that happen. And also, a great many people do enjoy that extra level of involvement with their favorite creators, and these extra fees made it just that much harder for them to be able to do so. And regardless of Jack Conte announcing that they had reversed their decision on the current implementation of the fees within the donations, the damage has been done. The simple loss of faith and certainty with Patreon will be shaken for a good number of people for the foreseeable future, especially now that people know that there will be changes incoming, but they have no idea what those changes will be. And through all of this, I do understand that at the end of the day, Patreon is a business and that they will look for ways to maximize their profit potential. That's just business. And quite frankly, I would still prefer direct information and honesty as opposed to the lies and doublespeak we got within the first announcement that was later followed up with Conte's weak-willed apology that didn't even seem to address the actual concerns that we all had with the new system. However, time will tell what the new fees will look like, as Patreon will now be left scrambling to find some form of middle ground, a way to increase their bottom line without being too aggressive against our supporters. It's realistically too little too late though for a lot of people, so I would like to take a moment to remind everyone that while I know Patreon may have shaken your faith, it's still ultimately the best option for ensuring the most money makes it down the line for creators. If you want to set up a recurring subscription system of donations, that is. Channels like mine do have our YouTube sponsorships and Twitch subscribers, but the percentages are far greater, at 37% for YouTube sponsorships being eaten by YouTube and Twitch taking a full half. I also have my PayPal, but there's no method of easy subscriptions there. And at the end of the day, the faith and trust in Patreon is what is shaken, and that's the most difficult thing for people like myself. Now, I don't feel 100% comfortable recommending Patreon right now, as while yes, I would love to see my goal reached and be able to take my channel full time, but I have to think of all of you first, and I don't want to see any of you sign up to Patreon only to have to deal with yet another frustration like the first one in just another month or two. So in the meantime, I will continue giving shoutouts to my 20 and Up Club supporters, and I will continue with the monthly AMAs, but until we have some form of certainty as to what is going to happen with Patreon, I'm going to recommend you hold off on supporting my channel on that platform. You are what is most important to me and my channel, and I think that is really the only right thing to do at this juncture. But as always, please do let me know what you think down in the comments below. And as I said, special thanks to the 20 and Up Club for their continued amazing support of my channel. Those members are listed in the description of my videos. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, I am SidAlpha, and I'll see you next time.